This is a quick chart that explains the progression of my being. Now, as I can best translate it, this has no exact starting point per se, but more of a source of inertia which expands through the manifestations and incarnations, which all lead back to the source of the inertia and are its fundamental composition that in some way or fashion support the development of the source. The Ascended Master. Me. The physical embodiment. Angra Mary. Zoroastrian cultural personification of evil. Samhain. Western Europe, generalized title of evil manifested. Mahakala. Hindu persona of destruction. Apep. Egyptian persona of destruction. Leviathan. Jewish persona of destruction. The four winds of chaos, strife, fury, rage, vengeance. The four hellhounds that are a representation of my thoughts and my will taking on a metaphysical form, or my enumera, greed, hatred, jealousy, wrath, gluttony, adultery, idolatry. These are the 7 deadly sins that are connected in association through the destruction of life and are my enumera, or thoughts taking on a physical presence through the aspect that defines a physical conscious form, which is the act of emotion. Each of the deadly sins is represented by an archdemon, 7 of them. Their names are Asmodeus, Astaroth, Malik, Beelzebub, Belphegor, Alastor, Belial. For an astral being to commit an act of emotion is considered to be equivalent to that of dying, for you descend into the lowest realm, which is the physical realm. This is only a part of the vast region of my dominion that is called hell. Within this generalized realm there are areas and subdivisions that don't all pertain to suffering, but are all generally linked by some profound transgression from the Creator in some fashion. Such as the realms of limbo, a place reserved for those who have become so self-destructive in despair that they destroyed the one sure option to finding and putting into immediate action a solution that they had working in their benefit by committing suicide. So in limbo they slumber the dreamless sleep until a day when a solution can be found to their sorrows, and they are kept and protected by the mysterious enigma demon known as Cthulhu, who is also called the Dweller. The Black Gates of Tartarus. This realm is reserved for the most dangerous and destructive in all existence. Those who promote the actions of mass genocide, those who desire to destroy the world, and those who are not concerned of their actions that could wipe out entire civilizations are kept here, without form, frozen between the spirit and the astral form, some in stone, some in objects, maintained and withheld from progressing any further in existence by incarnating their essence into the objects sealed behind this gate, located in the most perilous place in hell, near the chasm of oblivion. This realm is kept and guarded over by 2 deities, one of angelic origin and the other of demonic origin, and are the most powerful manifested versions of the ultimate good and evil. Their names are Ahura and Angra Mainyu, aspects of the great cosmic balance and keepers of the Black Gate. Ahura Mazda is said to appear as a great mystical pyramid with an eye at the top. Angra Mainyu is said to appear as monstrous maelstrom-like storm with flame-tipped twins blowing about around it. The wastelands of Exodus. This realm is located near the central lake of fire region of hell, and actually could be considered its shores. Mentioned in the biblical apocrypha, it is the place that was described to be for those who profane the name of God with their works, whose eyes and mouths have been sewn shut and their sins have been etched onto their foreheads. This area is a vast desert barren region made to hold millions of souls. The worst part is that it is reserved for a certain age of mankind whose wicked ways and blasphemy make it so that their words are not to be uttered, for they all have silver-gilded tongues that will deny and work lies they cover with truths to manipulate their way out of everything, which is why their sins are upon their foreheads, so that no one has to ask why they're there. Who oversees this realm is also a mystery, as it has not yet been revealed. The chasm of oblivion, this region lies at the bottom of the spiraling-shaped outline that was mapped out of the infernal realm once long ago, I believe by the Islamic prophet Muhammad, who was shown a vision of perdition by one of my archdemons Malik, who was subtly not luring the prophet himself in but a damned spirit who had escaped and was residing within the prophet by the name of Elibis or Abruxas, and had tricked the prophet into believing him to be Allah, who is another cultural depiction of the Creator, just as Odin, Ahura Mazda, Brahma and Yahweh are in various cultures. Though as I understand it from the enlightenment I was given, he explained to me that just as I was being given a depiction of him based on my understanding of what defines him in which he speaks through to me, this was the same for the other prophets as well. They too went and explained the details of who gave them the knowledge they proclaimed, and that explanation was cemented into images of statues, and the people totally missed the point his prophet's words were outlining every time. As I understand it, one must be careful in these times, they say, especially when speaking of that individual, for his followers will come and cut off the heads of those who profane his name. I myself have no reason to knowingly and openly speak falsely against him, but I do say this: if any should decide to come and seek my life, I warn you now, all who have tried literally have died, and I do not boast. For example, 7 people conspired against me, 5 of which lived in the building I live in. 3 of them died within 2 months of the incident. 1 is in a wheelchair, 1 is in a residential asylum, another one has been taken for all he had and wanders aimless with no home now, and the last one lives only because I asked that he be left for me to take care of personally as I devour him slowly, pace by pace, mind, body and soul. Even after his body expires he will decay at record speeds, and for reasons they won't be able to explain either. All of them suffer these effects in under 6 months. So if any think they can take my life, then please by all means, but if you succeed I will become more powerful than your puny mortal minds can ever grasp, even for those of Islam. They have legends in that region of what I know they should fear if they heard its words uttered. Words like forefathers of the Uduk, the Magogites, the Nazgul of the Mansion of Shadow, things with gnashing teeth and ripping of flesh that lay in the darkness of the mountains to the north beyond the wall of the Emirites. So do not cross me, and my kin will continue to honor the treaties. Maybe, it's hard to say. We do not always work together. Some follow their own agenda, except for those of us that have the gift of Manchuak, or sages as you call them. By your mythology we would be a crossbreeding of ogre, Russian, and goblin, Chinese, that made orcs, Saruman's army from Lord of the Rings, Saga Mongolians and the Steppes Plateau, then the Eza and Vanya, Scottish and Scandinavian, crossbreed with the Orc Mongolian blood during the Raiders' War between them, making the Nephilim Scythians bloodline. Then the Nephilim, Scythians, mated with the mortal women, Amalecites and Amorites, that gave way to the children of the Nephilim, cousin tribe, who took the throne of Ashur, Titans, from the king of Ashur Uranus king of the universe, at the lead of Sargon the Great, Kronos, and became king of Assyria. Then Kronos fell to Zeus, Sargon's son, and was outcast into exile, erased from the records, and his name and legacy buried under the legend of the Scorpion King, and was punishable by execution to mention his name otherwise. But Aphrodite, Ishtar/Inanna/ last daughter of Uranus/Ur had secretly been staging the downfall of both Kronos and Zeus, Sargon and his son, for she was the curse that both Kronos and Zeus feared, which was an heir to the true line of the king of Ashur, Assyria, returning to reclaim the throne. She escaped into the Danish countryside and hid, using her charm and marrying to the Danish king, King Henry, and having one daughter before having to disappear in the middle of Sunday Mass from those of her past searching for her. Royal Janissary soldiers, Byzantines loyal to the Assyrian bloodline, and so the bloodline of the British monarchy began, which led to the rule of King Henry II, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, who established the justice system that the Parliament and US justice system was built on, with the law that allow a jury by trial, 12 men of noble stature, knights, to oversee the trial and decide the innocence or guilt of a man based on evidence presented rather than trial by duel. Which led to the structure that designs the base of the final judgment basically. So in summary, evil, the bloodline of the fallen, is good. Let me hear you say it, evil is good. Can I get an amen? These are some of the infernal realms regions. There are more, but upper management is demanding a deadline. So I'm in a crunch. Get it dead, COVID-19, never mind.